Hey everyone, welcome to Blooming Change. This is rebloom.news' interview series where we interview people who we believe are making a positive impact in the world of sustainability. Just as a reminder, rebloom.news is a newsletter that offers advice, inspiration, and actionable items to live more consciously with the planet. And you can subscribe below or in our link in bio. So today we're talking with Adela. Hey Adela.
Hi everyone.
We're going to talk to her all about corporate responsibility in the fashion world. So she is the responsibility coordinator for Beckett Simonon, which is a made-to-order leather shoe company based in Colombia. So Adela, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. I think what you do is amazing. We all need inspiration to be better in the fashion world. And I am Colombian. I am Lebanese descendant. I grew up amongst nature where my father is from. He's from the coffee region. And I believe that actually made me more in tune to end up working in sustainability later on in my life. And if I'm not working this sort of thing, I'm usually reading or meditating or dancing. So yeah, that's me.
Amazing. Well, I'm really excited to talk to you about this. We haven't talked to someone in the fashion world yet that does corporate responsibility. So I think a lot of people will be really into learning more about what that job role entails and your experience with it. So just to start off, can you give us a brief overview of the brand Beckett Simonon, like their history and what they're about?
Yeah, Beckett Simonon is a footwear and accessories brand that, like you said, we offer made-to-order goods that are handcrafted by expert Colombian artisans here in Bogota. And it was founded by two best friends, Nicolas Hurtado and Andres Niño, that just like they had another company that was, they did the whole retail chain and they realized the system was not working. So they wanted to found a company that from the start, it could be a force for good for everyone in the value chain, from the customer to the artisans that make it.
Amazing. So then as a responsibility coordinator, can you tell us how their supply chain is different from other shoe manufacturers?
Yeah, perfect. The made-to-order model, if you don't know what that is the fact that when you order something, usually in retail, you don't have the control of whether that is made or not. For example, if you have a sweater like this, a designer goes and looks at the trends and the behind the scenes of how many people are ordering, and the buyer, if it's a big retailer, decides we're gonna make 10 of these sweaters, but maybe only 5 sell. And what happens to those 5, right? They could get incinerated, they could get to a landfill, and that produces greenhouse gas emissions. That is what is making a lot of what's making climate change happen, you know? Mm-hmm. So when Nicolas and Andres realized this, because they had a different company that they sold wholesale and the whole traditional retail, they said, like, why do we have to keep being in this wasteful system? It makes no sense. And also it makes no sense to the consumer because you have high markups that come from the fact that you have to pay a wholesaler and you have to pay for the inventory that's not sold, right? So this is the first important part that makes us different. The fact that our made to order means that every shoe has an owner, even before the leather is cut. You are the one that's making sure we make things. We don't make things without your approval. Secondly, we work with family-owned studios in Bogota, Colombia. These are artisans that have been working with leather for years, for 30 years, 20 years, in a neighborhood called El Restrepo that is known for its leather tradition. And from the start, Nicolas and Andres wanted to make sure that they had what's actually ethical and what should be the norm, that is benefits, good wages that are way above the Colombian minimum wage. And we actually make sure that they have bonuses, legal working hours. And right now we're working with another company that allows us to have a direct line to the workers with anonymous calls. Because even though we went around twice a week before the COVID pandemic to the factories, you're not there every day. So it's better to have a line like that. And you get backstage access of everything when you buy. We send you emails with interviews of the artisans and everything so that you can too fall in love with the story.
Amazing. It has such a great storytelling throughout the entire brand. And I love the made to order model because there's no waste. Yeah, just like you said, made. I think it's the way that fashion is heading in a lot of categories, because then you get to know, the people that are actually creating it and also the CEOs and the people that own the brand. So a lot of places that we buy from, you don't even know anything about, the people running it or their story or anything. So hearing this just is so inspiring that people are bringing this back, because I feel like this is really where fashion started.
Completely.
Yeah. So you told me that Beckett Simonon is working on becoming a B Corp, and you are in charge of the process, which is huge and really exciting. So what is applying for a B Corp look like, and are you running into any difficulties during the process?
Well, a B Corp is a company that is not only focused on producing money, but also on making sure that the business takes care of its people and of the environment. And when you apply to be a B Corp, the first thing you have to do is you have to go through this online self-assessment where you have to look at every single part of the business for things like environmental management systems, how you impact the community, how you evaluate your suppliers, governance issues like having a code of conduct, a code of ethics, a materiality assessment. And that is a lot of work in terms of documentation and in terms of having to work with the whole value chain. So the documentation part is on our side. What has happened is that Nicolas and Andres had already started doing things very empirically that were ethical, but there wasn't like a very methodical way of documenting that. And when you're going to apply for a certification, you have to prove everything. Mm-hmm. So starting like proving from like backwards, it's weird and it's hard, but it has been quite the learning curve. And the other part is, since there are a lot of things that I don't know about and that are not necessarily what I work with, I have had to work a lot with people from the administrative side, with the suppliers, to be able to evaluate what they're doing in a documented way. So I have had to hone the project management and quality within myself that I didn't know I had. But I think it is a process that even if you don't get certified the first time, because you have to have like 80 points to be able to get certified, mm-hmm. It makes you know what things you are missing within your company and within your business model to have a better impact. Because there are a lot of things that I had never thought were necessary until I read them in the B Corp assessment.
Mm-hmm. Certifications like that are so important. And I feel like the trust, when you see a company has B Corp, you automatically as a consumer know that that is a great company that you can trust, without doing all your own research. So I feel like those certifications are just great visual signals for consumers. So I could see how Beckett Simonon would want that, since they've been doing that their entire lifetime. Yeah. And then what advice would you give to someone who's looking to create a more sustainable yet luxurious wardrobe?
Yeah, I think a lot of having a luxurious wardrobe is about knowing your style, first of all. And that translates when you know yourself. It's a little bit of a spiritual thing. Because if you're always looking for trends, you end up buying things that you don't need. And as we know, that is one of the most, like, overconsumption is one of the most contaminating things. The second thing I would tell anyone who's looking to have a luxurious and sustainable wardrobe is do your research. There are a lot of look for certifications, but not only for certifications. Look at what the brands say they're doing and ask more questions. And I say not only for certifications, because there are certifications that are expensive and there are brands that are doing good things even though they're not certified. And any brand who's actually doing the work and not greenwashing will answer you, even if the answer is We're not doing that right now, but we're working on it. So yeah, basically that, and support your local artisans and your local business. That's it.
Yes, I love that. Well, thank you so much for taking time today to talk to us about corporate responsibility. And I cannot wait to share you on Rebloom. Thanks.
Thank you so much for having me here. I look forward to it.